Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July. It is episode 18 of the SportsLogos.Net podcast, and we're going to be celebrating all things Canada and the United States. Canada wore black in the World Cup against South Africa. The 4th of July is also coming up this weekend. It is a big celebration in the United States. We'll talk about what's going on uniform-wise. The Dunedin Blue Jays went with a weather-delayed jersey because what can't you turn into a jersey these days? Paul Caputo's Minor League Minute. We'll look at your comments and your reviews, and Paul will share where he was one 4th of July about 13 years ago. It's episode 18 of the SportsLogos.Net podcast. All right, a busy week in the World Cup. My Canadians are doing fantastic to a point that I never thought possible. Before we get into that, just let's say hi to Paul Caputo. Paul, how are you doing this big holiday week?
Chris, first of all, happy Canada Day to you and to all who celebrate. And congratulations to you and your Canadian World Cup soccer team on your first ever knockout round win. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And it's kind of funny. I was thinking this over this morning about how the progression of expectations now has come with the Canadian men's soccer team. 4 years ago, when they qualified in Qatar in 2022, at that point, Canada only made it to one World Cup. I was 3 years old when it happened back in 1986. They lost all three games, didn't score a goal. In 22, they finally made it back. And all of Canada, all we wanted to do was score a goal. That was it. That was the target for the World Cup. No one thought about winning a game. Let's just get a goal. First game, didn't score a goal. Second game, finally got our goal, but lost 4-1. And then the third game, we scored on an own goal, which was nice. So that counted. But now in this tournament, right? Game one, got a draw. All right. That's the first ever World Cup point. We'll take it.
Yeah.
And the second game, we won 6-0.
That's amazing. It's the Jamaican bobsled of the World Cup, I think. Here, this is
hopefully we don't crash out on the course and
right up until you start winning these games 6-0. It's this feel good, summer camp movie, right? Like about this upstart young country with this soccer adventure.
Are we an upstart young country? I guess relatively speaking. Yeah. We're only 150 years old, Paul.
Hey, what was the experience for you? Did you go watch it somewhere? Did you watch it with family? What was that World Cup game experience for you?
I watched it by myself at home. So I don't like going out and doing things with people typically.
Sure.
Like I have my small group of friends, and if they want to come over, fine. But
people are terrible.
Group of friends, in general, people are terrible. But my friends are like me. Unsurprisingly, they don't like doing things with people either. So my family was off at musical theater rehearsals because both my children are actors. And my wife was taking them to rehearsal. So I was at home watching the game by myself. It was 0-0 right up until, I think it was injury time. They scored. I can't remember. But they took the lead 1-0, and then that was it, going on to the next round. The fun part in my family is that my wife and her ancestry is Dutch. And in the next round, Canada could play the Netherlands. So there's the debate with her whether she should cheer for Netherlands or Canada. And I told her, you're cheering for Canada. Let's be honest.
She is Canadian, right? Like that's
She's Canadian. She's never even been to the Netherlands.
Okay.
But that's the team that her entire family has always cheered for their whole lives.
Does she have one of those amazing World Baseball Classic Dutch caps with the black cap with the orange crown on the front?
She really should.
She definitely
if you're looking to get her something for her birthday, Paul, she'll take that. She does have a Netherlands soccer cap though, so I told her that's got to go in the closet for the next. Netherlands still has to win to get. By the time this episode is released, people will know whether or not Netherlands is in. So this could all be for naught.
Well, so that game is the 4th of July, as we were discussing before we came on air here. The next World Cup game for the Canadians is 4th of July. They wore black in their win that you watched and recounted so dramatically. Are they like baseball players? Are they going to get superstitious? Are they going to wear black again? And why were they wearing black? What's up with black, not red?
Well, I've heard in the World Cup that the team doesn't get to choose the colors.
Oh.
I don't know how true that is. I think FIFA decides they pick One team is designated as the primary team, the other team is designated as like the secondary team, and they choose the primary team's primary color that doesn't clash with the secondary team's uniform the most, something like that. So the Canadians have a red uniform, a white uniform, and a black uniform. They've worn all three in this tournament. The black one is the only one they've won in.
Hmm.
So they're now 2-0 when they wear black, and winless in anything else. Why they wear black? Well, you can blame the national hockey team, I think, because back in the '90s, Canada was always red and white in sports. They wore blue a little bit too when they needed a third color. But back in the '90s, everything was extreme and cool, and black started to come into fashion. Probably Gretzky's fault, wearing the black and silver with the Kings. Let's just blame him. And Bo Jackson too with the Raiders. I'm going to blame both of those guys.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Team Canada Hockey needed to add a third color, and they chose black. So their uniforms went from red and white to red, white, and black. And over time, they added black third jersey, and the other programs started to pick that up, including the soccer team. You'll notice Team Canada Baseball also wears black. Although I maybe the baseball team came first because I think they had black in their logo back in the '80s.
Oh,
I'm going to do some research on this. Or while
okay.
I talk, Paul, I'm going to throw you on research mode because you're great at that.
Get
Yeah,
the intern
so
on this.
get intern podcast, Paul. So at some point, black became a primary color for Canada. The Canadian soccer team this year called it their black ice jersey because there's like it looks like ice cracks on the jersey. Anyone from Canada knows that black ice is terrifying on a road. I don't know about on a soccer pitch,
Probably
but
scary there too.
yeah, if I saw black ice on a soccer pitch, I would, tiptoe around it. I would take my time. I saw one person say that these uniforms look like this is terrible. I shouldn't even say it, Paul. Do you want me to
Oh,
say it?
yeah. I think.
Looks
Well,
like
you've piqued my interest. Let me know if I need
I
to
picked.
bleep anything though.
One person said these black Canadian soccer jerseys look like Diego Maradona's coffee table
I don't get. What does that mean? I don't understand.
because there's like little streaks of white lines on
Ah,
it.
I get it.
Oh, and I hate making that joke because Argentina is my favorite soccer team
Yeah.
aside from Canada. No, that's a terrible joke. Whoever came up with that and made me repeat it on air and made Paul laugh.
It
Terrible,
made me
Paul.
laugh. You made me laugh because it, definitely had the cadence of a joke. And then when you explained the joke, it was actually even more funny, which is a rare instance.
A rare instance, but
Uh,
typical of my presentation of telling jokes. Okay, so but have you been following your Americans at all? Like they're playing against Bosnia in the first round, the
yeah,
second
I
round.
I saw that they won. It's I gotta be honest, Chris. It's hard for me to watch a whole soccer match. I did have something funny last night happen where we were over a friend's place for dinner, and they had the World Cup on TV, and they're sort of like following it loosely, and I guess very loosely because they were watching the U.S. versus Australia, not knowing that the game had happened 10 days prior. And so he's over there and he's like, oh, there they go. And it's like sunny during the game and it's nighttime while we're there. And he's still like not, didn't quite realize that it was not live. And then he texted me this morning. He's like, look, 2-0 US.
That's fantastic. Did you like make a bet with them? You should have made a bet.
Oh,
I
I
bet
bet you
you.
this will end 2-0 in favor of the US. So anyway, that's about maybe following it a little more closely than that. I did see that we lost a sort of meaningless third game in the group play. Now we're on to the knockout round.
Knockout round. All right. Well, good luck to your Americans.
Thank you.
Only to the point where we can knock you guys out.
All right.
Because that would be, knocking out the Americans in the U.S. at the World Cup. Mm,
You do have a
mm.
birthday coming up, Chris. It might be the,
I
the
do.
all-time great day for Chris Creamer right there.
Speaking of birthdays, you and I
Oh,
are hanging out in a couple of weeks.
we sure are. Yes. At the time of this recording, this drops on Canada Day, and then we've got the 4th of July, where the whole nation will have its eyes on Philadelphia just because that's where everything happened in the United States 250 years ago. What the whole nation has its eyes on is really the following week, the All-Star game in Philadelphia. It's in Philadelphia because everything's in Philadelphia this year because of our semi-quincentennial. It's where all the things happened. I'm loving all of the international soccer fans discovering Wawa hoagies for the first time. That's been a ton of fun for me. So I hope to maybe get to introduce you to a Wawa hoagie while we're at the All-Star game in Philadelphia, hanging
Oh,
out
that'll be
with
awesome.
40,000 of our closest All-Star game friends and Todd Radom.
Last time I was in Philly, I went to one of the local hoagie stops or
Yeah.
whatever you call them in Philly. Is it hoagie, cheesesteak, whatever?
Well, they're two different things.
Oh, are they?
Yes,
I
hoagie's
had no
cold.
idea.
Hoagie's cold. A cheesesteak is a very specific thing.
Okay.
They're all kinds of sandwiches, but a hoagie is like a lunch meat. A hoagie is probably what you might call, and many people would call, like a sub.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm learning things here. Okay. So
yeah.
don't ask for a hoagie when you want a cheesesteak.
Definitely don't, unless you want actually secretly, subconsciously, you want a hoagie instead of a
Is,
cheesesteak. If
isn't that that's a country song, right?
don't ask
Don't
for a hoagie when
ask
you want a
for a
cheesesteak.
hoagie when you want a
It's
cheesesteak.
gonna be by the time we publish this episode. Thanks,
That's gonna
ChatGPT.
be a really bad mistake. Oh, okay. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So last time I was down there, I got a cheesesteak, not a hoagie,
Yeah.
and enjoyed it at a, local establishment. Sitting next to me was a Norwegian metal band who was on tour and just enjoying the heck out of this cheesesteak. And I couldn't understand a word they were saying,
Of
but I
course.
did understand the universal language of yummy, and they really seemed to enjoy that.
What are the
Uh,
decisions that you make on a cheesesteak? Whiz versus provolone?
uh-huh. Oh, you're asking me what
I'm
my
asking you
choice
that
is?
question. Yeah, let's recreate the moment here.
So the first time I did it, I just said, give it to me the original way." And
All
I,
right,
I
no.
was heard that that's a mistake. You're not supposed to say that.
Oh,
And then the second time, I went wit whiz. That's how I
okay.
said it without the H. Wit
Yeah,
whiz.
wit whiz. So that
I,
means with
I,
onions and
it
cheese whiz.
does.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't like onions,
Oh well,
but I
well you
maybe
got onions by accident. Don't ask
I
for
did.
don't ask for a
Well,
hoagie
look,
when you want a cheesesteak, Chris.
here's the thing though. When you're eating a cheesesteak in Philly, it doesn't really matter what's on it because my gosh,
Yeah,
you're in a special kind of
yeah.
place.
I like to add
You're just
mushrooms.
mushroom. I could do mushrooms, but like
Hmm.
at what point are you altering the cheesesteak to a point where it's no longer a cheesesteak?
There are standard things that you can put on it that are very much within the acceptable realm of cheesesteak toppings, like peppers, onions, mushrooms, American cheese, provolone cheese, whiz. Those are all acceptable options. But don't be like John Kerry when he was running for president and go to like Pat's and Geno's and try to get Swiss cheese on your cheesesteak.
Oh,
Like, yeah, one of his handlers needed to intercept that one. So Chris, if we're standing in line for a cheesesteak, I'll make sure you don't make any embarrassing mistakes.
could I get Swiss on that?
Can I
Wit
get lettuce and
Swiss,
mayo, please, on my cheesesteak?
Wit
Sorry,
Swiss.
he's Canadian.
Can I get some Donair sauce on there? Oh, all my East Coast listeners are just loving that one.
Uh, Chris, All-Star game. We're
Yeah.
excited
What do we?
about the All-Star game.
I'm excited about the All-Star game. I'm hoping that you and I get to maybe bother some players a little bit with some fun uniform questions. We're trying to get some media credentials for all of us. We're going to hang out at the All-Star Village too. If anyone's going to be in Philly, come say hi. And yeah, we're just going to generally bum around town for a bit.
Yeah, we'll put
And
our cell numbers in the show notes. Just shoot us a text.
no,
Okay,
no,
we're
we're
not
not
going to
going
do
to do
that.
that. We're going to
Okay,
put Paul's cell number in there, and he'll convey messages to me.
I
Thank
would
you,
love
Paul,
it. I would
for
love to have all of the listeners of this podcast shooting texts at me.
Paul. I'm going to give you a rare opportunity here
Ooh,
to extend your minor league minute time. What do you think?
are we going to extend minor league minute with an affiliate of your Toronto Blue Jays?
Sure, that's the only way I'm accepting this. Is there's Blue Jay related news. The Dunedin Blue Jays, right?
Yeah.
What are they doing down there in Florida?
So your Dunedin Blue Jays. What's funny about this is that you have a what we French speakers would call a laissez-faire attitude towards the stories that I cover. I'm pretty much at liberty to cover the stories as I see them come along. But this one came along, and I was prompted, I think, at least three times by you to make sure that I covered this Blue Jays affiliate and and this clever,
Well,
funny thing that they're doing.
the reason why, Paul, and
Okay.
normally I don't bug you about these things, is because it had come along my feed
Yeah,
from non-uniform related news sources.
sure.
So up here, it was something people were talking about. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, we got to talk about it if non-uniform people are talking about it.
Well,
Hence my probing.
yeah. So Dunedin, what they did was in light of the fact that last year they had 24 weather delays, six cancellations, and 10 postponements. perhaps an argument for a dome in Dunedin at the
Let's do it.
at the Blue Jays spring training facility. And so what they decided to do was they converted a very alarming looking weather map into a jersey. They've got this entire jersey printed with the local weather map, just replete with greens and yellows and reds and very alarming looking storms and that sort of thing. And you can tell it's local because right there on the top right shoulder it says Dunedin. Safety Harbor is another town that's not too far away. Clearwater, my Clearwater Threshers play just down the street from Dunedin, and so that's right there. So it's gotten a lot of attention, as you mentioned. This Toronto Blue Jays single A affiliate in the Florida State League which plays in the Blue Jays spring training facility made this hilarious weather map. You once asked me the question, is there anything we can't turn into an alternate identity? And I think the answer to that question is no, Chris. I think
No.
we're just
No
everything's
swastikas.
well, I guess there are some things we can't turn into. Let's not list them though. How about that, Chris? Like, so yeah. So this story and then another story about a wrong Jeopardy answer leading to the Columbia Fireflies playing as the synchronized hippos. It's been a fun week on the site for minor league
Well, you're
baseball.
going to have to, you can't just say something like that and then not. Go ahead. Minor league minute number 2. Let's go.
We have discussed on this podcast, Chris, the fact that the Columbia Fireflies play near Congaree National Park, which is known for its synchronized fireflies that blink in unison. It's
Right.
yeah, it's very cool. We talked about that. I think this was my minor league minute.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, 3 places in the world. It happens at Congaree National Park. It happens at Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and then it happens in Malaysia. And as I mentioned when it was the minor league minute, I have seen it in one of these 3 places, and of course it was on the other side of the freaking planet in Malaysia. Very cool thing. But this Jeopardy question was: Congaree National Forest is known for its synchronized what? And Lauren Vincent was the contestant, and she rang in very confidently and was like, hippos. I think maybe she had just seen the movie Fantasia, but yeah, it was not hippos. So of course, the Columbia Fireflies seized on that, and now they're playing as the synchronized hippos.
Well, okay. That's a great story there.
It is.
And your synchronized fireflies happening in both 2 places, the United States and Malaysia.
Malaysia.
It's like where they use imperial measurements, right? It's like here, it's in the U.S. and Burma.
Right,
like,
right. The other comparison that I think of is I don't know why this evolved this way, but sprinkles that you put on ice cream in 3 places in the United States, they're called Jimmy's rather than sprinkles. Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, and Boston. Like, why those 3 places? So
because those 3 places are exceptional.
they
Jimmy's
are.
is a great name.
It is a great name. And Chris, I'm going to take this opportunity to have a third minor league minute here and mention that
What's
the
going on?
AAA Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs played as the Jimmies one night in tribute. They do a like salute to Philly night every year, and one year they played as the Jimmies. Yeah.
I need to know.
Yeah.
You of all people need to tell me.
Yeah.
Paul Caputo, Paul Bot, podcast Paul Bot.
I like this.
Did they put Jimmy's on their helmet ice cream sundaes?
Oh, it's very much an option when you go to a Lehigh Valley.
No, on a
Iron-
day like that, it's not an option, right? It's Jimmy night.
Oh, you have to have Jimmy's. It's mandatory if you get ice cream at the
It
ice cream
should be.
helmet. We're gonna have to send our intern to a Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, maybe perhaps during the July 10 through 15 when I'm back in Philadelphia.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what? I got some time to kill when I'm in Philly, Paul. If you want to go on a little road trip to Lehigh Valley, I
that
am
would be
all up
something.
for it.
We go down and see the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, maybe.
Let's go.
They're playing
I'm
as the
excited.
Jersey Tomatoes either on or the day after my birthday.
We talked about that. We said
Yeah.
you should throw out the first pitch.
I thought so.
You should
Or
throw out
the first
tomato. Yes.
Wow, this has been a minor league baseball intensive episode, and we're still not yet to the minor league minute. Before we get to
No.
the minor league minute, though, Chris, we've got some YouTube comments, and we also have an Apple review, Chris. Before you get to your YouTube comments and questions, we got a very kind Apple review. We're very pleased to see this. First of all, thank you. It helps us spread the word about this episode when you rate and review on Apple Podcasts. So go ahead and leave us a 5-star review if you would, please, and we'll read your comment on the podcast. And so this one comes in from Mets, Colts, Thunder, Mammoth, which is
I wonder what teams they like.
a wild combination, though. Mets, Colts, Thunder, Mammoth.
Yes, this is someone who lives in a place that doesn't have a team of their own, right? And they're just going out and picking out what appeals to them, which is fine.
I
I'm all
guess so.
for it.
I'd love to know. I want to hear back from them where they actually live. Anyway, it says the subject header for the review is Best Sports Uniform Logo Podcast, which we very much appreciate. Thank you, Mets, Colts, Thunder, Mammoth. And he says, very niche topic, but the best podcast for these topics. I love listening to it every week. Mets, Colts, Thunder, Mammoth. We love having you listening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And speaking of the Mets, they're coming to Toronto for Canada Day. I hope your Mets are wearing a Canadian flag on the side of their caps to, pay a little, come on, show us a little love. Come on,
I
come
hope
on.
your Blue Jays beat the Mets.
Well, I was going to say that, but we just got a nice comment from a Mets fan, so I'm not going to.
Sorry. Well, I won't say anything bad about the Colts, Thunder, or Mammoth, though. So
You promise?
I promise.
Speaking of Colts, this is episode 18, Peyton Manning. I
Peyton
can just throw
Manning.
that out there quickly.
Yeah.
So YouTube comments. Let's see. Let's see. We got quite a few. We actually got some questions this week, which we like. First of all, from the password Laser PDB, he's wishing us a happy Quebec National Day,
Uh,
which I believe it was back when our last episode aired. And I have a feeling that Paul does not know about Quebec National Day.
no, is it
It,
related to the 54th birthday of the Quebec Nordiques logo?
you know what? It might be in a roundabout way, like maybe the Nordiques unveiled it on that day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's worth looking up.
Yeah. That was all over
Um,
your socials, the Quebec Nordiques logo. Just a classic logo.
54th.
Yeah.
Yes. Designed by a 17-year-old student named Roger Gingras, who was a little testy with me in an email a few years ago. I
Okay.
have a question for you, says the password. Would you like to see special matchups related to provincial or state holidays, such as Quebec's national holiday? And that's a very, very easy answer. I'm just going to let Paul go ahead and say it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, of course, we want to see
Yeah.
any special matchups related to anything, really.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and a provincial state holiday is right up there on our list.
Right. Like I get that scheduling is hard enough. Like it's amazing
Hmm.
that they're able to put these schedules together the way they are, especially that they are able to put schedules together in such a way that all of the teams I want to see are on the road every time I'm going to be where they are playing. How do they do that? It's amazing. But if they were
It's
able to arrange it so that these geographically significant matchups took place, I think that would be pretty cool.
is there such thing as a state holiday? There's got to be, right?
State
Like,
holidays?
yeah.
Sure. In Pennsylvania, we have Hoagie Fest at Wawa.
I don't think that's a holiday though.
Oh, it says you, Chris. How dare you? How dare you on Canada Day of all days to tell me that Hoagie Fest is not a holiday?
A hoagie is a sandwich with cold meat on it.
That's right. It's a sub
Yeah.
if you're somewhere else in the world.
Kilo One, who is our friend with the Chicago Dogs avatar. Oh, he's starting a petition.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
He's going to get a signature, at least from you. I know that.
Okay.
Petition for when Paul covers more historic minor league teams, he gets 2 minutes instead of one.
Wow. Okay.
Look, Kilo One, if you give Paul a minute, he'll take an hour. So I don't
Especially
know if we
given I've
want to do
taken like
that.
5 minutes already on this episode.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? That's just for you, Kilo One. I gave him all those. But I agree. Maybe we should give Paul an extra minute
Ooh,
here and there when it's a more, maybe for his birthday, we'll do that. We'll see.
ooh, not too far away.
This one also about Paul's minor league minute. This is from, oh boy, another long name.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. At Juan Jose Sanchez Bracamontes. You
Okay.
know,
Nicely done.
I appreciate, thank you. I appreciate when our users do change their usernames for my convenience, but that's okay. You don't have to do this because you say you love our podcast, except for when you talk about my beloved Cleveland Indians. I'm not sure
Oh.
what that means. Anyway, I have a request for you since Mr. Caputo has his minor league minute, which is very nice. How about Chris has his own minute?
What's this going to
I,
be?
I, I got an hour. Let's be honest.
This is the
Um,
SportsLogos.Net podcast, right?
How about Chris get his own minute to talk about the history of logos? Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
I'm fine with that. I'm thinking about the histories of logos, their designers, how they made a logo, the stories behind the creation. I don't know, but that sounds cool, says Juan Jose Sanchez Bracamontes. And he says, greetings from Mexico to both of you. Yes, the
Wow.
third host of this year's World Cup Juan Jose, welcome to the podcast. Tim Loblaw, 6128,
Of Bob
says
Loblaw's
bon
Law Blog?
that, and he brings that up here. He says bonafetta to both of us, which is French for
Ah.
happy birthday. This might be another Quebec National Day salute here.
Hmm.
We could pretend it's Happy Canada Day, but there might be some sensitivities there in my country. Okay, bonafetta to both of you. Paul, I'm expecting Ranger Amy to admonish you for a comment you made
Oh boy.
while discussing the Portland Sea Dogs. You said
Oh, here we go.
harbor seals don't have ears. I am going to be that guy. They have ears, but they lack external ear flaps. Paul
Uh,
Caputo.
wow.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know who
he's
Ranger Amy is.
he's referencing Baseball by Design. So as you know, Chris, I host another podcast, which you've been a guest on many times, Baseball by Design. And when we're talking about wildlife themed baseball logos on that, we bring on Baseball by Design's wildlife consultant, Ranger Amy Burnett. And so clearly we have a crossover listener here who is
Oh,
referencing Ranger Amy from Baseball by Design.
did I say I don't know who Ranger Amy is? I say I'm a great fan of baseball days by design, and I was just being funny. Tim Loblaw, 6128 says, you gave me a shout out in a previous post. Of course we did.
Yeah.
Yes, I am related to the Loblaws founder, and yes, I have a brother named Bob.
Oh, Bob Loblaw's Law Blog. This is amazing.
I've been living that joke long before Arrested
Oh.
Development brought it to life. Do you think he goes by Robert?
No, I think he leans into it.
He does?
Yeah, I think he leans into it. I think he
He's
goes
got
with
to.
Bob. It is a great joke from Arrested Development, though. Bob Loblaw's Law Blog. So,
We got a question.
oh, let's hear it.
Michael Mikowski 12 says he loves the podcast. He wants to know how long it takes for a team to create a new uniform behind the scenes and what the process is like. Michael, in my experience talking to teams, this is always the first question I ask, and the answer is always the same. It is approximately a 2 year process. In baseball, it's typically Nike will reach out and say, hey, do you want to do a City Connect? And the team will say yes. Nike will present a series of themes. Do you want to do something about the fountains in your town? Do you want to do something about the statue in your town? Do you want to do something about your team's Negro League history? Just to give you a few examples. And the team will go ahead and pick one of those options, and then they get to work. And it takes about 2 years of revisions and going back and forth and getting approvals and all that. Usually, sometimes they'll go and get some player feedback. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. But that's typically what it takes. And I find that it's about the same across all sports. Like I know in hockey, they're already talking about what they're going to wear in 2027, 28. Like, so they're a few years ahead.
Chris, if I may, you say it's 2 years basically across all sports, but I would interject that for some of these AI generated minor league baseball alternate identities that we've seen, I would say the answer is maybe more like 20 minutes.
Okay, there you go. Maybe we know why they're doing it now.
Exactly, yes. And you can
Yeah,
always tell, hey, minor league baseball teams, we can always tell.
I don't think anyone has seen an AI generated minor league baseball alternate uniform and thought, "Wow, awesome!"
Right. Sweet.
So
Sweet.
let's keep that in mind, teams. And Michael adds on, in the spirit of fraternal correction,
Oh boy, here we go.
I like the way he put that. My team's beloved mascot is named Pat Patriot and not Patriot Pat.
Oh, dang it. Okay. I'll wear that one. I own that one. I got it wrong. I did a bad job.
He also points out that you shouldn't get your thesaurus back because of that.
Uh, darn
That's a
it.
little harsh. Paul needs his thesaurus.
Love that thesaurus.
And our last comment from Billy King, the designer,
Oh,
who may or may not be a designer. He's asking about that. We talked about the Hall of Fame weekend caps that
oh yeah.
Major League Baseball is wearing coming up, where every team is wearing a retro design. He's asking about the Houston Astros, who are going to wear a blue and orange version of their brick and black 2000s batting practice logo for Hall of Fame weekend. And as far as I know, they're the only team that's altering the colors of a retro logo to match their modern uniforms.
Huh.
He's asking why would a team change their colors to match their uniform, but the Tampa Bay Rays do not. Do you think those decisions are made by the teams individually? Because the inconsistency is strange, as is the idea of teams wearing hats that don't match their uniforms. Again, I'm going back to conversations I've had with leagues and teams. None of these designs are forced upon a team. The league might make a suggestion. New Era might say, "Hey, we think you guys should wear this cap," and sometimes the team doesn't care, and they're just like, "Yeah, sure, give us whatever." I'm getting the sense that New Era, again, I'm guessing here, New Era probably went to the Astros and said, "How about this cap?" And the Astros said, "Sure, but make it in blue and orange." And New Era was probably like, "Okay, but you'll be the only one." And the Astros were probably like, "Yeah, we don't care. We want it to match." And that's how something like that happens. It would never be like the Astros saying, "We refuse to wear that," and New Era saying, "Tough, you're wearing it anyway." There's not a lot of forcing when it comes to this sort of thing. We did see maybe about 10 years ago, one of the first Father's Day weekends when all the teams were wearing baby blue colored caps and jerseys. The San Francisco Giants refused to wear baby blue because it looked too much like the LA Dodgers.
Oh.
So every team had a baby blue word mark and a baby blue cap logo, except for the Dodgers, who wanted to wear orange with baby blue trim because they didn't want to wear Dodger blue. So that's one example of where something like that actually came in, and the team said nope, and the league was like, cool, you know,
I would say conceptually, I like the idea of taking the retro logo and conforming the colors to the contemporary colors. Like make it look like, I mean, we've talked about this with other teams, right? Like the idea of taking a past logo and making it part of the current set. That's a way to do that. And I think, in general, I approve of that. I'm contradicting myself, right? Because sometimes the horrible clashing is fun. But, in general, I think the idea of coordinating the colors of a past logo to a contemporary uniform set, I like that a lot.
I think the fact that they don't match, Paul, is fun because we know it's not permanent, right? It's something that's only going to be worn for a game or
Yes.
two. If that was a permanent setup, we
Right.
wouldn't think it was fun anymore. Like we'd think that
Yeah.
was ridiculous. So
I somehow got it in my head. I was talking to the retail manager for the Las Vegas Aviators, and we were talking about the Las Vegas 51s, and then we were talking about the Aviators doing A's branded Aviators gear. And then I got it in my head that I would love to see the A's two-tone cap with the yellow and the green and the 51's alien head logo on it. Like
yeah.
I would buy three of those hats just in case I lost two of them. Like that sounds like an amazing hat right there.
Well, if the Las Vegas Athletics are looking to replace their elephant anytime soon, Paul says,
Go with the gray alien head. Absolutely. Anyway, well, Chris, it was fun to have all those comments. Thank you, everyone,
yeah,
for listening. Comment on YouTube or leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That helps us out. Or text one of us from the phone numbers in the show notes. We'll get
no.
back to you, I promise. Tell us what
Paul,
section you're in at the All-Star game.
oh yeah, yeah, sure. We'll come visit you. Oh, I know what time it is.
I'm
It's
champing at
time
the bit.
for. Are you? Yeah, yeah. Because you haven't had your minor league fix yet. This has been Paul's
This
episode.
has been great.
We've had two themes this episode. One, me going on and on about Canadian soccer jerseys, and
Yeah,
you going on about minor league baseball. That's fine. I'm
it's
fine
great.
with it. I guess it's time for Paul's minute number 5 of Paul's minor league minute this episode. Paul Caputo.
It's the minor league minute with Paul Caputo. Paul Caputo. It's the minor league minute with Paul Caputo. Paul Caputo. It's the minor league minute with Paul Caputo.
I'm quoting all over the place here. Chris, it's Canada Day when this episode drops, and so what other team could I choose besides the Vancouver Canadians? Back in 1978, there was a AAA Vancouver Canadians. They were owned by Molson Breweries, and so all of their branding looked just like Molson with the red and blue alternating letters that said Canadians. That was pretty great. Now they have a high A franchise with a logo created by Brandiose, which features a Canadian Mountie, which is just totally fun. He's a big, chisel-jawed guy wearing that Mountie flap hat and the red jacket that is so iconic of Canada. I do want to say that that was not the original idea that Brandiose had for this brand. They wanted to do like a Wuzzle-themed character that was half moose, half orca, and half beaver. That's a quote from Brandiose themselves. That's Jason Klein. So yes, that's 150% of a character. But this Vancouver Canadians team, it is the only affiliated minor league baseball team in all of Canada. They are, of course, just around the corner from their major league parent club, the Toronto Blue Jays. just 4,400 kilometers away, just a 40-hour drive, Chris. But the Vancouver Canadians, Chris, happy Canada Day, your Vancouver Canadians.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's a shame that Canada only has one minor league baseball team. I missed out on the golden era of minor league baseball in Canada because there's a time when there was quite a few, and especially in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
London, Welland, St. Catharines all had teams. Ottawa had a team.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back there and really take advantage of that brief moment of time. I do wonder if Molson got involved with professional baseball kind of as a way to get back at Labatt's, who owned
Oh.
the Toronto Blue Jays at the time, and named, the story goes that the Blue Jays are named Blue Jays because of Labatt's blue, and they wanted some sort of blue themed name. So Molson got their own minor league baseball team called the Canadians. I wonder if that's, I bet, I'm just going to go ahead and say yes. That's why that happened, because that seems far too obvious to me.
Yeah. That AAA
So,
team that was the Vancouver Canadians is now the Sacramento River Cats.
of course it is.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be? The Vancouver Canadians, the Sacramento River Cats, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Albuquerque Isotopes, and wherever the Edmonton Trappers are now.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
teal. They had teal uniforms. They were one of the Marlins.
Wow.
Edmonton to Miami, right? There's
It was the 90s and that was the law. So,
but imagine like that trying to send players minor league baseball Edmonton to Miami. Like that's a flight.
yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Or probably like 4 flights.
So we've talked a lot about Canada Day. It's
Yeah.
also 4th of July, and it's a
Yeah.
big 4th of July. So I'm going to go ahead and step back from Canada talk just for a brief moment, Paul.
Yeah.
You know what? No, you just talked. So I'm going to go ahead and say
Oh,
something very quick.
you
So
talk.
I'm going to talk for a second. I'm going to let you run the rest of the episode, okay? Paul is going to talk about where he was on a 4th of July. So before he does that, I'm going to be very quick and tell where I was on a 1st of July one year in 1998. This was the first year when I went to a bunch of Jays games on my own, without my dad. I took the train down, went to a game by myself. A magical season when Roger Clemens, Jose Canseco, and a bunch of steroid users played for the Toronto Blue Jays all at once. It was fun. And I went to the Canada Day game that year, which was against, much like it is this year, the New York Mets in the first time the Mets had ever played in Toronto. And Canada Day, I was watching batting practice, and Ray Ordonez, Mr. Home Run hitter for the New York Mets, who barely ever hit a home run, came up to the plate and hit a long fly ball to where I was standing. Again, this is during batting practice. And I just reached my glove out in between a big crowd of people and felt the ball land right into my glove.
Wow.
And I pulled it in, looked at it, and I went, "Oh, baby, yeah." And that was
For
the first time I ever caught a ball at
For
a
the
baseball.
listener at home, Chris's eyes lit up and he was reenacting. He was going through all these motions. It's an audio only podcast, but Chris's eyes were all dinner plates as he was looking at his own empty hand, imagining that
just
baseball in it. So that
imagine
was
15-year-old Chris Creamer there.
Wow.
Oh my! I had a catcher's mitt, and that's how I caught the ball. And it was a National League baseball
of
back when
course.
they wore, and because it
Yeah.
was Mets batting practice, they brought the National League balls. So
Yeah.
I caught a National League baseball at the Sky Dome in 1998 on Canada Day.
Wow.
28, oh my gosh, 28 years ago today. Paul, I turn it over to you for your 4th of July themed. Where were you?
It was 2013, Chris, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. We've talked about the Isotopes on this podcast before. Really fun minor league brand, AAA team, pretty good stadium. I like their ballpark. It's a fun place to go watch a ball game. The Western United States is known for occasionally drying out and catching on fire. And so we have to make certain provisions for that. Here in Colorado, we're constantly watching all the wildfires that are burning out there and seeing if they're going to sweep through our hometown. But in Albuquerque in 2013, there was a fire warning. There were all sorts of provisions in place. And they, of course, had sold out their 4th of July baseball game because it was going to be fireworks, and people love fireworks at a ball game, right? So they sent out this very apologetic tail between their legs email saying, we realized that we sold you all these tickets because it was going to be fireworks, but there's these rules in place right now. We're not allowed to set off fireworks because we're going to start a forest fire if we do. And then they were like, but we are going to bring in the San Diego chicken, who doesn't go by the San Diego chicken. It's like the famous chicken or whatever, right? Like, so we are going to bring in the famous San Diego chicken. That's your consolation prize for not having fireworks. I was more excited about the San Diego chicken than I would have been about any fireworks. So, as I am wont to do with my family, we got there like way early. This was the first time I'd ever been to this ballpark. It was a new AAA park for me. It was a significant drive to get down there. And so I was like, we're going to get there early. So we got to the ballpark about 2 hours before first pitch, sort of sauntered in when the gates opened because there was no like rush. There was no giveaway. So there wasn't any reason to like line up early. So we got in and we're just sort of cruising the concourse a little bit. My daughter Maya at the time was 6 years old. And this very tall, skinny guy comes walking up to us and he goes directly, not to us, not to the parents, but he goes to Maya and he says, would you like to dress as a baby San Diego chicken and go out on the baseball field during the baseball game? And Maya, like, takes like 4 steps back and she's like, no. And, and I was like, Maya, wait. And so I sort of took her off to the side and I was just like, Daddy's whole life has built up to this moment. And so, maybe we could reconsider. And so she reconsidered. At the end of the second inning, 4 children gathered sort of in the underbelly of the ballpark. And sure enough, there's the San Diego chicken. And they're getting these 4 children all dressed up. And they're basically saying, when you go out on the field, just do whatever the chicken does. And we're going to sort of run through it one time. And so the idea was, here comes the San Diego chicken, and here comes 4 little baby San Diego chickens right behind him. And they took turns, doing all the funny things he was doing. So the first thing that they did was the San Diego chicken goes out on the field, lifts his leg like he's peeing on the catcher of the opposing team. And so Maya is first in line. So Maya lifts her leg. The place erupts. The whole stadium, sold out Albuquerque Isotopes game, goes just bananas. And because Maya was the first kid, she got the biggest laugh, right? When the San Diego chicken does something, it's like, oh, that's funny. But then when a kid does it, it's hilarious. And then by the time the 4th kid does it, it's sort of like, okay, we get it. So Maya got the biggest reaction of like every single thing. And then she got her prize was she got to choose any item from the chicken's store that he had set up there. And of course, there's a San Diego chicken bobblehead. And I'm just like, that's going to look great on the mantle. And Maya, of course, is like, no, I want this hat that makes it look like I'm the San Diego chicken still. So she got the San Diego chicken hat, which she wore pretty much nonstop until she grew out of it and it would not fit on her head anymore. And every time we went to any baseball game, she would go as the San Diego chicken. They did end up doing fireworks anyway that night because the ban was lifted. And so we got both Maya's San Diego chicken performance and fireworks. And then the next morning at breakfast, we're sitting there around the hotel breakfast, and Maya looks up and she says, remember last night when I was famous? So one of my favorite.
That's a wonderful story, Paul. How did you keep that one under your San Diego chicken hat for so long? That's amazing.
I posted a video on YouTube of the routine. I'll have to dig that up.
Okay.
It's still out there on YouTube somewhere.
Put it in the comments, maybe, if people want
Oh,
to
I'll
see
do
it.
that. I'll do that.
Paul,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll agree with Maya there. Nothing better than wearing a mascot suit. Have you ever done it yourself?
I have been a mascot one time. It was at a Texas Roadhouse restaurant where our local fire company was having a fundraiser, and they needed someone to wear the armadillo mascot costume. And I have never been less comfortable in my life. Just like sweat dripping into my eyes, and I can't reach it, and like my nose itches, and I can't scratch it.
There's for every year for about 4 or 5 years, I was for the Santa Claus parade in town. I was the Grinch. So I wore the whole Grinch costume.
Yeah.
And you run out and you're like, you have a lot of fun. You become the character. And it was always funny, during the parade, you're the biggest star, right? Everyone's like, oh, yeah. And then the parade ends and nobody cares.
Right.
You don't have the
Yes.
costume on.
No.
Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's
Yeah.
trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
But during the show, you're like, everyone is like dying to talk to you and touch you and
Yeah.
hold you and grab you and sometimes punch and kick you and take pictures with you. And then as soon as the suit comes off, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
The local collegiate summer level team here, the Fort Collins Foxes, had a mascot night. And they had a lot of local mascots. And then they also had Dinger the dinosaur from the Rockies.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it was just like some like Rocky's intern who, wasn't, I don't think it was the actual dinger. But it's funny to think about that. You're like, well, is it the soul? Is it Dinger? If it doesn't have Dinger's soul, like I don't know. But I also don't think
Dinger has a soul.
Dinger's soul is the
mascots
person
don't have
inside
a soul. They don't go to heaven when they die.
Oh no, no! How dare you, Chris? On Canada Day of all days.
When I worked, one last mascot story, and then I'll let you go to work, Paul. When I worked for the Jays, you'd get to run around in the back areas there a bit, and I had to quickly run from my section where I was an usher down to the dressing room, our dressing room, not the team's dressing room. And so I get to go down the employee staircase, and I'm running. And as I'm quickly going around a corner, I see the Jays' two mascots at the time, Ace, the current mascot, and Diamond, their mascot, which is now long since been retired. And they're just standing there in full costume by an open door, I guess, trying to get some from fresh air. And it's just me, Ace, and Diamond in this very small, tight corridor. And like, it's a winding staircase. So I'm going around the corner quickly and whoa, and I was stunned. And Ace, who's, they're not supposed to talk, but he goes, hey, how's it going? And I said, I don't know if I'm in a nightmare or if this is reality.
Right.
That's what I said. And Ace laughed, and Diamond didn't want anything to do with me. And then that was it. That's my Ace Diamond nightmare story.
That's pretty great. And it was well worth it. I hope it was worth it to you, Chris, because the clock ran out on this episode while you were telling that story, and it means we don't have time for the Bridgeport Islanders. Yeah, so we'll get to the Bridgeport
their
Islanders
mascot is.
next week. We don't have time to talk about it, Chris. It's next week. Next week we'll talk about the Bridgeport Islanders mascot.
Paul Bot?
If only.
No?
That's going to be my minor league team's mascot. Chris, once again, happy Canada Day to you. And then, my goodness, by the time the next episode comes out, we are going to be on the doorstep of hanging out in Philadelphia with some cheesesteaks and some hoagies and some Todd Radums.
Hey, do you have before we jump out here, do you have a Canada themed number 18?
Well, Chris, let's think about this. How about one Moises Alou, who played for your Montreal Expos?
That's a good one. Okay. From the famous Alou family.
Of the Alous.
There was a lot of Alous.
Yeah. Well, he was one of them.
Maddie, Felipe, Jesus. My dad says first baseball game he went to, he was like maybe 19 or so, and he's in Montreal, and there was two nuns sitting in front of him at the
This
game.
is one of my favorite jokes.
It's not a joke though, but they're at Jerry Park. It's like 1971, so I don't know, it's early 70s, late 60s, and all he hears is one of the nuns points to Jesus Alou's name and says, "There's a player named Jesus."
Chris, happy Canada Day. We will see you. Well, not quite yet. We've got one more episode to record over Zoom, and then we'll see you in person in Philadelphia.
Paul, another great episode. Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July to everyone out there listening. And please come back next week for episode 19, the Paul Molitor episode.
Rate, review, subscribe, and comment. I think we're supposed to say that. We're legally obligated to say that in podcast land.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button.